at the beginning of this year, I thought I was just planning a few homeschool meetups. I didn't realize I was about to build something that would completely change my life. I started this with a really basic idea of just homeschool meetups, getting connections for my kids, and I just thought it would be something super simple, super casual, and it turned into so much more, so bigger than I thought. Coordinating people, it can be really hard. Like weather and dealing with outside places, not having a dedicated space to meet, that's a whole nother level that I hadn't really considered. I hadn't considered a whole lot when I was planning the group. I literally just thought we're gonna meet at parks, take some pictures, and that's gonna be it. And it really snowballed from there. And I didn't realize how responsible I would feel for everyone's experience. I really take to heart when people don't want to come, or they don't really enjoy a meetup. I tend to personalize, like to internalize it, and I want to make this group amazing for everybody, not just for my own kids. But that was when reality kind of hit. Was when I had to kind of deal with all of the logistics behind the scenes. That I just thought I'll put a park out there and people will show up, and then everything else that I had to do to make all of that happen kind of settled on me. And then it just kind of shifted a little bit. When people kept coming, almost immediately you could see friendships forming, you could see connections being made, and not just my family but other families in the community really began to rely on the Salt and Light Society and our Friday meetups. And somewhere along the way it really stopped being just a casual meetup and it started being something real. And I always find it amazing when people are on Facebook, and I don't do Facebook often, but I'll go on there every now and then, and you'll see people in the homeschool communities for Flagler County being like, hey, I'm looking for connections. And without a fail, at least one or two of our group members will suggest our group. And that's just a testament to how big and how amazing our group, well, not even how big, but how amazing our group really got. We got to where we just, everyone in the group loves it, and we would love for everybody to be able to have what we have in our community. But it did take a lot from me. Like, more than I had thought it would take. I spend probably the majority of my week outside of schooling my kids is spent coordinating and planning for Salt and Light events. I spend a good amount of time not just preparing for the week that is coming up. So this week we are doing the beach. And so throughout this week I'm trying to coordinate if when I'm leaving the house so I can get the water filled, and how I'm going to pack my wagon, and if I'm going to have enough for, there's a lot of little things that I like to just know as the leader that I'm prepared for. Like I have to make sure our first aid kit is stocked, which, is something I have to do on a regular basis with a group this big. And those are little things that I didn't think of going into starting the group. I didn't think of, what if there's an accident at a park? And that, thankfully, I thought of it before our first meetup, or not our first meetup, I guess it was our second meetup. A kid slipped on some barnacles and we utilized the first aid kit. But it takes a lot of mental time for me to just kind of make sure I've got as many bases covered as I can think of, because I know that I will never have everything covered. That's just life. So it takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of me getting my kids up earlier than just to go to the meetup, because I like to make sure, like, as I said, like the day before we pack the van and we make sure that whatever we're doing that next day, we have what we need for it. And then I get them up early because I'm that person. I need to be there first. I'm the leader. I want to make sure that I'm there when people show up. And then it costs a lot of money. I didn't realize going in how much money I would actually invest into the Salt and Light Society this year. And I mean, I don't regret a penny that was spent because it was well worth what was put into it. But I I think I didn't think about that before starting and committing to it. And I invested a lot of money in the very beginning with absolutely no thought about a return for that money. And thankfully, the group showed up and it turned into what I thought it would be. But there were definitely moments where I questioned, is this the right move and should I keep going? And I'm so glad that I did. I was able early on with just the response on Facebook before we actually started meeting in person. I was able to see what it was becoming and what it meant to other people and what it meant to me. This group has meant so much to me that it's changed the way our whole family kind of functions. Then, so our whole family absolutely loves the Salt and Light. We have friends that we can just 24/7 reach out to and either, see if they want to hang out, check on how they're doing. We have invested in other people's lives, and other people in turn have invested in our lives and in my children's lives. And I've had my mom help me from the beginning with my homeschooling. She comes over and helps me with my kids during the week. And I just don't think I realized how much that sense of community and friendship was really missing. Knowing that not just my oldest, but all the way down to my almost 5-year-old. Can't believe she turns 5 in less than a week. But I just can't believe that I now know that every single one of them has a group of friends that they absolutely love. And I met with 1 or 2 families at the park just yesterday. Excuse me. And as we were heading there, my kids were like, which families are going to be here today? Which of my friends will be here? And I'm like, well, listen, some of the Salt and Light will be here. Not everyone. We're just hanging out. And knowing how excited they get and knowing that they look forward to seeing their friends just as much as I look forward to seeing their friends' parents and sitting down and having that conversation, it really has been a blessing bigger than I knew would come. And, this is like, I started it with the idea for a yearbook, but seeing everything that it became, it makes it worth a yearbook. It makes the memories worth preserving. Like, I'm waiting. I sent in the order and I'm waiting for the yearbooks to come back. And I just can't wait to have people look at them and relive every memory from this year with the pictures. And it wasn't just planning meetups. It wasn't just planning field trips or get-togethers. It became creating an entire community, and it became so much more, and it deserves to be remembered. And that's what the yearbook is all about. So hopefully next time I'll get my thoughts together a little better and we can go through what I did to make the yearbook. But I hope you have a great day. Bye.